Great day. I'm Marshawn Chrysler, and this is WAJ WAJ News. And today we have an exciting show for you. We're going to be talking about some great programs and partners that we have in the city of Jackson that are certainly making our city the best of the South. Today in the studio we have us with Miss Donna Yoel, who is the Executive Director of Mississippi Urban Forest Council. We're so happy to have her in the studio. She's going to be talking about a great program that is not only environmentally sound, it is an attractive program that's going to be looked upon as one of our jewels in the city of Jackson. Talks about an assessment of urban tree canopy. Welcome, Ms. Yoel.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. So tell us about this program. I'm excited about it, as I talked to you before the show, that this is right in my area. I'm always excited about anything that is environmentally friendly, and certainly that also is a caveat of being attractive to our capital city. So talk about your program.
Well, the study that we recently conducted is on urban forestry. It's on trees in the community, and the reason it's important is because trees provide services. Trees do a lot of things for us other than beautification, of course, which is one of them, but they save energy. They can process, they can store stormwater runoff, they increase property values, clean the air. So there's a lot of reasons that we want to have a healthy tree canopy in our communities. One of the things that makes Jackson very special, Jackson being a capital city has 51% tree canopy, which is very large for a capital city. The challenge a lot of times is maintaining that tree canopy in a way that it provides all those services to the community. One of the things, there's just never enough city dollars for the city to be responsible for all this. So one of the things about the tree canopy study is showing individuals who own property, or business owners, homeowners, or even people that live in apartments and those sort of things. If you want more trees and more green space and canopy in your environment, then you can look at this study and determine if your lot has the potential for tree planting.
Go ahead. I was just going to say too, in speaking of tree canopies, I know you've done an extensive study, if I understand you correctly, and you've looked at, I believe you told me 60,000 different communities nationally.
Oh no, this is 60,000 parcels, over 60,000 parcels we looked at the city of Jackson.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
So
Thank you.
as individual homeowners, you can go on to this website,
Sure.
And it's stored on Keep Jackson Beautiful.
Okay.
And you can look at your lot, an aerial view of your lot, to determine if it's a good location to plant a tree.
Oh, awesome. And 60,000 right here in our city, huh?
We did 60,675 residential lots.
Wow, that's
And
impressive.
8,000 of those had less than 20% canopy. So because the overall city has 51%, a healthy balance for most communities is 35%. So Jackson's over that healthy balance. But then a lot of the areas like Ward 3 is 20% and under.
Sure.
So there's a huge opportunity in Ward 3 to plant more trees. And the reason you would do that are the benefits that are associated with those trees.
Let me ask you something. Have you all studied communities, I'm sure, outside of the city of Jackson who have, invested in such a endeavor? And what does the research show with those? How did they go about doing it, things of that nature?
Well, the important part is not for it to become a burden for the city, but for homeowners and business owners to get involved. And the communities that do these things are the communities where people want to visit. It's a lot about tourism. It's a lot about broken window pane concept, making places more attractive for business. It's a lot of economic development aspects of it. And the communities that implement a lot of this, they have a long-standing history of being places that people want to live, shop, work. So there's a lot of economic benefit to it. And when individuals participate in a program like this, it really multiplies rapidly.
If a neighborhood association wanted to get involved in a project like this, where would they go for resources to learn more about it and things of that nature?
There's several things they can do. We can come in and provide a training workshop. It's really important once you determine that your property needs more tree canopy and more trees, then it's important to select the right tree, because if you have a small space, you want to plant a small tree. If you have a larger space, you really want a tree that provides that canopy, because when we talk about energy savings, shade, stormwater management and storing stormwater, those kind of things, it really has to do with the canopy. So while pretty trees are wonderful, like crepe myrtles and blooming trees are wonderful, it's important to have the diversity of combining the pretty trees with the trees that have long-standing canopy for those social services they provide and environmental services.
I've definitely had the opportunity to go to other cities who have canopy, and to me it's attractive. I use that word all the time because I guess it's to each person's taste, but when I look at it, not only does it provide aesthetically a different sort of image, if you will, attractive community, like you said, but at the end of the day, it also provides a great deal of shade and cover, and certainly, like you say, it certainly makes good use of stormwater. And I said earlier, environmentally sound. I think about Bolton, Mississippi, area that I kind of grew up in, and Utica, who have some areas that certainly have natural canopy, and it looks good, and they made a use of it in their development. And so it's interesting to hear you talk about that and bringing that here to our capital city, being in an urban environment, and being able to invest in that. So, like I said, I think it's such a great study, and certainly something that I think a lot of homeowner associations in the city of Jackson would be open to and interested in, quite frankly. Have you reached out amongst any of those communities and talked directly to any associations at this point?
We have. Matter of fact, we sent an educational link to the study to the neighborhood associations in Jackson. And we do a number of other programs in Jackson. We do edible forests, which are fruit orchards around the city. And we have quite a few of those in the city. But some of the other resources as well is going on to, just Google planting trees in Jackson, Mississippi, and you'll get all sort of lists on the best tree to plant. And then also we have trees from time to time that we can donate as well. So trees are not an expensive investment. For every dollar that you invest in a tree, you're looking at $25+ worth of benefit. And a lot of those is increase in property values.
Sure.
So it's, and one of the other parts of the study, which I think is real important for Jackson, we did it based on drainage basins, so that the stormwater runoff after a storm event, when it goes into a drainage basin, if that drainage basin is lined with trees, it's going to absorb that water and process that water even more to keep it off the streets.
Awesome. In your research, these 60,000 parcels, did you notice any that already have what we consider canopy? I mean, that have already
yes. Jackson had a good number of the wards had good canopy. That 51% is overall Jackson. But we did it based on wards, and we also did the study based on census blocks. So there's quite a few that do already have high canopy. But I think the thing that's important is it shows the opportunities.
Right.
That could possibly really make a difference. And the other side is the conservation side of it, with new development, blending, maintaining a healthy tree canopy, while at the same time you're advancing the economic side.
Right.
That's always kind of a balance.
Well, I wanted to distinguish between actual canopy versus potential for this canopy piece, so that's why I revisited that particular piece.
Especially and I'm not picking on Ward 3, but I'm just giving that as an example.
Right.
They have a lot of plantable spaces. And that could make a huge difference in just the quality of life in Ward 3. But that's probably the one with the lowest tree canopy, and the others, when you go to look at the study, you'll see it based on wards. So there are a lot of those opportunities, and it's really one of those things. We call it green infrastructure, and green infrastructure, and we're literally talking about green infrastructure, is one of the lowest cost types of infrastructure that you can put in a community.
Well, that's great, and I know Mary Arbor is certainly interested in that type of development, quite frankly, whatever can be least costly, considering the economic and financial restraints we have going on in the city of Jackson. But it is very interesting, and let us use the last few seconds of the segment. How can people find more information out about the project?
You can go onto our website, Mississippi Urban Forest Council, or you can go onto Keep Jackson Beautiful website, and you'll see the study, and you can call us, or you can look at our website for resources, trees,
and what is your website?
Educational information, msurbanforest.com.
msurbanforest.com.
And we're located here in Jackson,
Sure.
so we're
Awesome.
we'll be having workshops throughout the year.
And contact number?
601-672-0755.
Fantastic. Well, Ms. Yoel, I cannot tell you how impressed I am with the information you shared with us here today. And we know we'll have you back in the studio as these type of projects start to foster and grow in the city of Jackson. We can thank you for introducing it to our community as a whole. And so thank you for being here today. We definitely are interested in having you back. And we again, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it. This is my hometown, so I'm here to help.
You're very welcome. We're glad to be a partner with your organization.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with WAJ News.
Medical Analysis provides health care at the right place and the right time. City of Jackson employees and their dependents who are on the city's health care can take advantage of the clinic's free professional health care services.
I'm so thankful to have medical analysis for me and my family, and as well as the other City of Jackson employees. It's very convenient, and they are very thorough and very passionate about their jobs.
Call 601-960-1018 to schedule your appointment.
The Jackson Community Garden Initiative is one of many projects sponsored by Keep Jackson Beautiful. We're a nonprofit that not only educates the public about recycling and environmental issues, but is a growing network of volunteers and other partners, including the City of Jackson. We're all dedicated to keeping Jackson beautiful and a great place to live through community service and neighborhood projects. To be a part of Keep Jackson Beautiful, call 601-953-1123 or visit us at keepjacksonbeautiful.com.
Welcome back to WAJ News. We're now on location here in the historical Farish Street district, particularly in front of one of the oldest churches in the capital city, the city of Jackson. That is the Mount Helm Street Baptist Church. And one of the things we want to do today is introduce to citizens, not only locally, but throughout the metropolitan area, statewide even, a spectacular housing development that's going on in this district. It's called Helm Place. And we have with us today one of the developers for Helm Place, Mr. David Kelly, who's going to talk to us about this particular development. But we want to also talk about the relationship between Helm Place and the historical Mount Helm Baptist Church. And David, why don't you talk a bit about that and how this development came to light and the partnership with the church?
I guess it was about 2.5, 3 years ago we began on this. We began to meet with C.J. Rhodes, the pastor. They own several lots, and they had been looking for some time for a partner to help develop this community. And they had been through several different opportunities that didn't work out the way they wanted. So it left it open for us. And so just over time, we developed a relationship. It took several months, and we were patient, they were patient. And we discovered that we had similar interest in the same goals.
Awesome, and I would think that they had a large, certainly a huge influence, rather, in this development and wanting this type of development area, because I'm not mistaken, we haven't had development like this in this area in the last, 3 or 4 decades?
That's correct. They were very vocal about what they wanted to see. They wanted quality development. They wanted to, they wanted a place for families. So what we designed and planned for was a community for children and for families, young families, to rejuvenate the area.
Great, and this could be certainly classified as what we consider affordable housing. And I know a lot of people, when they hear that moniker or that tag, that they think that that's low income, but we know that it's not, because affordable means it's just that affordable. And usually that appeals to working class families abroad. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's a grossly misnamed program. What it really means is it's for the working class. It's for hardworking families that typically do not get access to a lot of the benefits that either public housing or the other programs offer. This is for families who have a goal for ownership. And so this is a path to home ownership. And so when most people think about affordability or affordable homes, the income range, they forget that this is our firefighters, our policemen, our city workers, healthcare workers. People forget that that's who supports our city, and that's who needs to be in quality housing. So we're glad to be a part of something that is offering that opportunity to stabilize the community.
Well, Mary Arbor is excited about this particular program based on what you just said, because obviously one of the things that he has a vision for and certainly a passion for is make sure that every worker in the city of Jackson has quality housing, quite frankly, and not only the city workers but citizens, constituents across the city. But it's certainly particularly appealing to know that you all are interested in encouraging city employees to look at the development, certainly consider living in this particular development. So that's refreshing. That's
true, and just since 2008, when we began obviously working with you when you were a city councilman in South Jackson, with the 3 or 4 developments that we have now, in just under 8 years, we have now delivered 450 homes in Jackson. So we're proud of our relationship with the city. We want to do much more. And,
well, that's
it's
remarkable.
a good, strong market.
Very remarkable, and I do remember fondly the development you're referring to down in South Jackson with Timber Falls, and that's a great addition to that part of the city. Well, what we'll do now, we're going to break away and go look at some of these wonderful developments you have over here, housing developments, and the design, whatnot. So we'll be right back with WAJ News.
The City of Jackson Department of Human and Cultural Services Senior Services Division provides meal services to persons ages 60 years and older with a well-balanced nutritional noontime meal Monday through Friday at all of the city's 7 community centers. For seniors who are unable to attend a center, Senior Services provides frozen home-delivered meals to our homebound residents. For more information about enjoying a meal with a great group of seniors at one of our community centers or about home delivery, please contact the Senior Services Division at 601-960-0335.
Welcome back to WAJ News. We're now in front of a couple of the different designs here at Helm Place. We're going to allow Mr. Kelly to talk about these designs and how they came up with them and how it certainly enhances the Fair Street community. So talk a bit about your design, Mike, David.
Well, through the whole process, we obviously wanted to be respectful of the historic district. And so it was important that we you can see the drives where we tried to keep the division with the grass in to help keep some of the old flavor. Same thing with a lot of the homes, you'll see columns, a lot of balconies. So we went to extra expense and a lot of extra trouble to make this fit into the historic district. We know that the members of Helm Place are very proud of what we have here. They've been very supportive. The community has obviously been very supportive. These were full as quick as we could get them built and get them ready. They were full, and so we have quite a lengthy waiting list, but we always want to see more.
Sure.
And so we appreciate the help that the city gave us. Without the city, we wouldn't have been able to get this done.
Well, they are very attractive. I particularly like the brick skirt that's here, and certainly, and I truly think that's in context of certainly with the existing structures that was around here. And I want to talk a bit about that because I don't know if a lot of people realize what was here prior to these beautiful buildings, quite frankly. You remember coming into this area before any of this was done and houses falling on the ground, correct?
That's true. There was a lot of decay. The houses were literally on the ground. We had to clean up over 30 structures that had just been left to time. And so what we took out and what we were to come back with has been very positive. I think the thing that surprised us, has surprised the community, is how many young families we have with children. For the first time, this community is seeing the pitter-patter of little feet running around that they haven't seen in decades.
Sure.
So we're very pleased with the response that we've had.
And I particularly like, too, the design in terms of some of them are single story, right? And some of them are 2-story and even 3-story, is that correct?
That's correct. Trying to offer diverse design so that everything is not the same, different finishes, different colors. And that's what helps make the community. Even though we do have 3 or 4 basic designs. Still being able to change them up and still make it look pleasing is from the street's perspective. So.
Well, that's an attractive concept you have here, and like I say, I'm sure there are a lot of citizens that are already currently living in the city of Jackson, but certainly interested in moving to Jackson will certainly find these particularly attractive, and certainly I'm excited about the development. I know there's a second phase, another phase that's coming online that you're about to begin, and when does that start?
We're hoping to start in the next 90 to 120 days. If all goes as planned, it will be actually another 2 phases, which could entail almost another 120 units, but the next phase could be 70.
Awesome.
So, and with 50 to follow. So we're very positive about the area. The response has just been strong. And the same thing with, in the other developments that we're doing over at the medical mall. Right. Similar response. It's going very well.
Well, I guess in light of responses, that's a perfect segue. I believe we're going to have an opportunity to talk to one of the new residents of one of these homes.
We are.
See what they have to say about their experience.
Yes.
Let's go talk to them.
All right.
We're now here with the community director, Ms. Tamika Battle, who is going to introduce us to one of the tenants here at Helm Place and talk a bit about this, certainly the experience of not only you as a community director, but also as hearing from Ms. McGee in terms of her experience. So I'll let you talk a bit about your role here as a community director and how your relationship is with the tenants.
Okay. The resident that we have here today is Miss Lisa McGee. I am the community director for several developments, but particularly this development has been one of the most developments that has really been kind of personal as far as when we're leasing up the process, because it's actually been a long process. And I've met so many different people and dealt with so many different people, and I've become to be more personal with the residents here because it's been an experience. And Miss McGee is one of my favorites. She's always punctual. The process was easy, never gave me a hard problem because as there were many delays, but however we overcame, and she was one of the most patient ones, and whenever I need her, she's always there.
Great. And how many tenants do you have in this?
There's a total of 88 units in this development, and probably close to over maybe 200 to maybe 275 actually occupants total within the household. Average number, probably 3 to 4 people within a household.
Impressive, very impressive. So we are certainly growing our downtown residencies, and that's a beautiful thing. So Ms. McGee, is that right?
It is.
All right, we want to hear from you and tell us about your experience here at Helm Place and how it's been going.
Like Ms. Bella said, it's been a process, but overall, I like it. It's quiet. It's probably one of the most outstanding places to be at right now at this time.
Fantastic. And I think you're homegrown, local. And
I am.
all that. Yeah. What,
From Jackson.
From Jackson. That's
Right.
right. That's right. And so again, I'm sure you hadn't seen in your lifetime a development like this.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is very, very nice. I was very impressed.
Okay.
Very impressed. With
Did you
the plan.
particularly attracted to the location in terms of Fair Street? Or
I am.
downtown?
I'm willing and ready to see it grow. Yeah.
Well, you're helping it by being a resident down here, so we're excited about that. Anything else you want to share with the viewers that we have are certainly interested in a similar opportunity and this type of development? So anything you want to share with them? Talk about how you went about applying and getting involved.
Well, absolutely. I've known Tamika a while, and she told me about the place when I was living in Byron. And I was like, I might as well give it a shot, and I was really skeptical.
Say that one more time. You moved from where?
Oh, skeptical. Byron.
Say it one more time. Where?
Byron.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure you got that.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Byron. And I was like, I'm absolutely ready.
Okay.
Ready for a change. Actually, it's closer to work for me. So the commute is absolutely outstanding. It's 5 minutes to work.
Awesome.
Where I was driving 30 minutes one way.
Awesome,
So
awesome. And you got you have children?
I do. I have one daughter. She's at Murrah.
Okay.
So.
And within this development, I imagine she has some playmates that she can.
Well, she's a little loner. She's
Okay.
Only
But she
child.
does have an opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think we
absolutely.
made a point that what's important about that, and for the last 3 to 4 decades, we've just not had young families living in this area. and now we have children and families, and certainly that's what about revitalization, a big part of it has to do with, recreating areas that have families, quite frankly. So to have you here as a parent, and certainly with your young ones, and to be able to grow in this community is a great thing, especially since it's a historical district. So we're excited about that.
Absolutely.
And lastly, Mr. Meek, you're not off the hook yet. We need to let the viewers know about the application process if they're interested in becoming a tenant.
Okay. Well, basically, the office will be open here effective January the 2nd. The office hours will be 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. They can stop by the office, 203 Monument Street at Ham Place. Basically, what we can do, we have started a waiting list for the third phase. And once they come in, I can give them the qualifications. Must be 21 years of age, pass a criminal and credit background check, and we do have income limits where you can't exceed, but however, it depends on the number of people in your household. So we have affordable rates. Right now our rents are at $698, and basically that's it.
Okay.
And I do want to add this. I have so many residents that live prior to Ham Place in the Ridgeland area, as she stated, Byram and Clinton, they were paying over $1,200 and $1,300. And once they heard about our affordable rent rates, and they worked in the Jackson area, particularly mostly I have Baptist, UMC, school teachers, and all that stays out here. So I just want to give everybody an opportunity to stop by the office, get more information, and put them on the waiting list, and we're good to go for the third phase.
Now, from an application phase to actually becoming a resident, how long does that journey take?
Well, it doesn't take but 2 weeks to get the application approved. But however, when you're dealing with new developments and lease up, we do run across problems as far as, when we get the certificate of occupancy. Usually, it's kind of, it all depends on our construction crew along with being inspected and all that. So once we get all that clear, certificate of occupancy, once we have the application approved, if they're paid their deposit, they can move right on in the next day. So usually that's, how it works. But our application process, the paperwork and stuff expire after a certain amount of time. So we go ahead and get the information, the general information, and once they come available, then we go ahead and get the rest of the information and get them on in.
Well, I want to commend you on your efforts as the community director, and thank you, Ms. McGee, for again allowing us to come into your home. And I want to do one thing before we toss back is I want to correct what I said earlier. They're not tenants; they are residents. Right? Exactly right. So we want to make sure that's clear that this is home ownership, and certainly you'll be available to counsel future residents on how that ownership sort of occurs, right?
That's correct.
Good deal. Well, thank you so much for your efforts, and certainly thank you again, Ms. Gee.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back with WAJ News.
What a day, what a day. Time to go. Let's make haste. Not a second to lose, not a moment to waste. A big cat, a great ape, and a sleepy giraffe. Don't stop now, time to go. Let's make smiles and share laughs. Time with mom, fun with dad. That's a cougar, it is. Snap a pic with the fam. What a day to be kids. Lots more stuff to explore. We'll soon be on our way. Let's get cool souvenirs to remember the day. Hit the carousel now. Let's go round and around. Hey, what's under the glass? Oh, and look what I found. Frozen drinks to cool off, and if that's not enough, a fun water slide and a cool splash pad and stuff. Look at that, here we go. We can ride on a train. I don't know about you, I've got zoo on the brain. What a day, what a day. Lots to see, lots to do. Just one question to ask. How do you zoo?
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of WAJ News. I hope you've had an awesome time being here with us, seeing these great developments going on in the city of Jackson. We appreciate you watching. I'm Marshawn Chrysler, WAJ News, Jackson.